morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Friday, April 18th, 2025. My apologies for starting a little bit late today. It was one of those days where literally every technological thing that could go wrong did go wrong, but it's good to see all of you here. Emily and Adele, Marcia and Janice, Boker Tov. It's good to see you. Hi, Jacqueline. Susie, sending love to Toronto. Let's see who else is here. It's broadcast 1285. It is day 560 since October 7th. I am also saying hi to Jacqueline and Debbie, Boker Tov. Cynthia, good to see you. Cecile and Cheryl, Arlene and Barbara, Boker Tov, friends. It's good to see all of you. Jonathan, hi. We'll take a second, say hello to a few more of our friends, and then we're going to get started. Boker Tov, Emily, good to see you. Neil, if I didn't say hi, hi. Deborah and Deborah, good to see you too. All right, let's take a breath. We're going to sing a bracha, learn some Torah. Lydia and Linda, Shari, good to see you. Shari, you are sharing that the nurses and the CNA in your where you are being compassionate. You're still working towards getting into a rehabilitation facility soon. Davening with you, my friend. Davening that you should be exactly on that trajectory towards healing. It's good to see you. Barbara and Amy, Lydia, good morning. Here we go. Hi, Minna. Hi, Helen. Hi, Jack. Judy, sending love all the way to Israel. What a treat to be with you. לעסוק בדברי תורה, לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. דדי אלי לי לי דדי אלי לי לי Oh, good morning, Boker Tov, everybody. Judy, who's on Instagram right now, Judy Kaftal, is sharing that she is at Shalva, and there's a tradition that if you're outside of Israel, a Jew faces Israel when you pray. If you're in the north of Israel, you face the south because that's the direction that Jerusalem is in. If you're in Jerusalem, you face the Old City. If you're in the Old City, you face the site of where the Holy of Holies used to be. But the truth is there's another center of holiness in Jerusalem, and that is Shalva, led by an extraordinary human being named Kalman. Shalva is an organization that teaches us really how to love each other. If you don't know about Shalva, I encourage you to look it up. UJA has been a proud partner with the work of Shalva, which in addition to teaching families how to love their children when they have any differences, cognitive or physical differences, including autism, including behaviors, including at-risk young girls who were relocated after October 7th to coming into a wing of Shalva, this beautiful building that countless loving souls have helped build, the manifestation of Kalman's vision for his own child, let alone for all children. The image of God is so obvious in the hallways there and in the eyes and words that pour out of that angel on earth, Kalman. It is also a site that in the lower levels of the building is equipped with beds and cots in the necessity, God forbid, of an attack that requires everyone to go down into a shelter, and with the special needs of the Shalva community, that is no small task. And I want to praise one of the most beautiful manifestations of Jewish values as an introduction to today, especially because Judy is there and she can look around at the magical sights. Butterflies everywhere, color, life everywhere, hope in the air. If you're ever feeling down and you're in Jerusalem, give Shalva a call. You're going to feel better. Tomorrow is Arlene's birthday, so today, Arlene, the Torah is for you. Let me share a little bit of Torah for this last Pesach broadcast we're going to have, because we are in the last day of Chol HaMoed in the diaspora. One second. Judy's sharing that tomorrow would have been her father's 100th Hebrew birthday. Also, happy birthday to your beloved Abba, Zichrono Livracha. Today is the last day of Chol HaMoed, the intermediate days, because Shabbat is the 7th day of Pesach, and then Sunday in the diaspora is the 8th day of Pesach. And on these final days of Pesach, we mark things. Tonight into tomorrow is the 7th day, and on the 7th day, tradition has it that the sea split. We cross through the sea on the 7th day of Pesach. And I wanted to share some teaching about that, the splitting of the sea. You might have in your eyes, when I say this, you might have in your eyes an image, an artistic image, something from a movie. I see my beautiful friend Simon Mendes is here with us. He knows all about cinematography and filmmaking. He's an extraordinary artist in that field. When you see in your eye Charlton Heston taking the staff of Moses and hitting the water, planting it in the sea and it splits, or holding it above the water and splits. One of those is from The Prince of Egypt, the animated movie, and one of those is from the live action one with Charlton Heston, the classic. You miss something. You miss something because it makes it look like that miracle happened in an instant. That as soon as the staff did what the staff was supposed to do, and the human being who held the staff did what they were supposed to do, the sea split. But actually, that's not how it happens. In the Torah itself, the people are murmuring and terrified because here comes the Egyptian army, the remnants of Egypt after the plagues, to still viciously attack our people, where we are most vulnerable. And the intensity of that is not lost on the reader. So when we read the text itself, we hear about the Israelites terrified. Moses says, "Be still, God will show up and save you." And then God says to Moshe, "Why are you talking to me?" It's the strangest text. And to be Moshe in this moment is even harder than being the reader of the text. How can you possibly stand in the breach when you have no idea what to do? You've watched miracles happen. You promised the fulfillment of this miracle at the sea, which is where God told us to go in the first place. And all the people see that they're trapped. You tell them to calm down, and then God says, "Take care of it." What? Moses does hold the staff over the water, and then the text says that a wind from the east blew all night and eventually revealed the dry land within the sea. It's not an instantaneous miracle. And that is an important part of the story. Miracles don't happen like this. Philosophers like Rabbi Mordechai Kaplan, the founder of Reconstructionist Judaism, use the term theurgy to describe the idea that if I do something on this earth, I say the right prayer for healing, the heavens will respond. It's actually a Kabbalistic idea that what we do travels to our supernal root, travels through the realms, the invisible aspects of what is truly real, and can influence heaven to make something happen. But you and I know that if that were only the case, how many prayers, friends, we have recited for our own healing, for the healings of others, for the release of our beloved hostages, for the end to all war, for peace. Those prayers, if this worked, would have been answered. And we know that the Torah actually makes the promise, and we know that it doesn't actually happen. The Haggadah gives us one possible answer, which is born of the same kind of creative spirit that I'm sharing here today. When Rabbi Eliezer says, "Behold, I am as if I am 70 years old, and I've never understood why we need to talk about the exodus from Egypt at night." It's this very strange thing, because of course he knows we're supposed to, but he's asking a deeper question. Why must we say it at night? It says, discuss it kol yemei chayecha. Talk about the exodus from Egypt all the days of your life. Well, what does the Haggadah offer as the rabbinic answer? It offers the answer that goes like this. You just don't understand the text yet. Yemei chayecha, the days of your life, that's the daytime. Kol yemei chayecha, that's night. But then they go a step further. Not only must we talk about it at night, which is a reassurance of God's presence when we close our eyes, no small thing. Then the rabbis say, Yemei chayecha, talk about the Exodus during this world. Kol yemei chayecha, talk about Exodus in the world to come. Because justice doesn't seem to be available enough in this world. And if I expect justice or peace or good thinking from our leaders with a snap of the fingers, I am out not just for disappointment, but to be less helpful in the world than I'm called to be. Miracles do happen, but they don't happen in an instant. They require unbelievable and sometimes imperceivable thoughts and deeds and encouragements. What is it to see redemption for us today as we go into tonight, the splitting of the sea? Is it a movie? Is it Charlton Heston or the voice of Val Kilmer in the animated movie by DreamWorks? Is it instant? No. No, in fact, the Talmud tells us this very bizarre story about how the tribes competed to get into the water or at the edge of the water. Some tribes said, "Me first." And when they went first, other tribes threw stones at them, saying, "No, we wanted to go first." But the other way of understanding "me first" is, I'll take the risk on your behalf. For the sake of our community, I will take that first step. The famous story of Nachshon ben Aminadav, a real character from the Torah, described in the Midrash as being brave enough to walk into the water until the water comes up to his neck with faith that freedom was possible. He sings the words, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, who's like you, meaning challenging God to show up in a unique and liberatory way. And the sea does split in the Midrash because of human agency. I want to ask you this question, friends, because you and I are inhabiting a world in this moment where there are active forces of disequilibrium at best. Specifically, hearing the derogatory statements about anyone with autism from the Secretary of Health. No, when Moses confronts Pharaoh and Pharaoh says, "Who's going with you?" Moses answers with the deepest articulation of Jewish values that has ever been stated. Everyone is coming with us. Our elders and our children, we will not leave anyone behind. What does freedom look like if anyone is left behind? It doesn't look like freedom, not through Jewish eyes. I challenge you in this moment, friends, because we, of course, are caught in a world where if only I could snap my fingers and human dignity could be restored, I would be snapping all day long. But if we believe, as Shari has said so beautifully, Hashem hears our prayers. She has also said they're not necessarily the answers we want or in the time frame we want them. I want to add to that, as Arlene said, yes, our prayers may help us and help others. And I want to go even further than both of my friends and say our prayers are actually articulations of what we are supposed to do in the world. The sea did not split like this, and it didn't split because of a staff, even if the Torah says that with the raising of the staff, the wind blew all night. Now that's beautiful, beautiful, and inadequate through human eyes. The rabbis continue the idea of this process and they involve human beings, like Nachshon ben Aminadav, who takes a step into a sea that has not yet split, and talks about tribes racing for the water, taking risks for each other. At our best, and we must be our best, at our best, we remember that freedom, your freedom, my freedom, is bound up in everyone's freedom. I cannot cross the sea if I'm going to do it myself, if I am willing to leave anyone behind, to consider anyone less worthy of freedom. I cannot, I should not, and this is my pledge as a Jew, as a human being, as a person of faith, as someone who welcomes all of our non-Jewish, beautiful members of our community here and wishes them a beloved and holy Easter this weekend. I say so with confidence and with determination, and I invite you to do the same thing. I will take that step into the sea, and I will make sure that I'm holding someone else's hand. Because I can only be worthy of that freedom if I remember that my freedom is bound up in everyone's. I don't want blood on my door while the angel of death visits anyone else. I don't. There might be moments where I must fight, and that does come at a human cost. But I should not be excited to do it. I shouldn't ask for it. I shouldn't want it. I shouldn't want a freedom that leaves anyone behind. I invite you, friends, to consider what your actions will be right now as we prepare to cross the sea. Look behind you, because most likely there are people who are taking a little bit longer, and they deserve to be free too. That miracle is a process, and you and I are parts of making it real. If we have learned anything from this Chag, from this holiday, if we have truly asked the questions that need asking, if we have truly eaten the maror, the bitterness, and felt it, poured out from our glasses in solidarity, even with those that we vehemently disagree with, even with those with whom we must fight, if we can evince some kind of humanity again, empathy again, then we stand a chance at being God's partner and splitting the sea. And the world needs no less. There's an ancient midrash that says God made an agreement with the Sea of Reeds, with Yam Suf. It was always supposed to split. And if the Israelites did not make it split, all of creation would be undone. It's an intense midrash, and the rabbis living in their own unstable times talked about it with depth and conviction. Let's remember that the basis of creation is us showing up. Yes, it's a Kabbalistic idea, and no, it doesn't work like that. But you and I have power. Images of God, as Heschel said, a fraction of God's infinite power at our disposal. We've got work to do. Let's get ready right now, this second, to cross the sea. We do that tomorrow. We better make sure that everything in our power that we can do to help somebody else, we are doing. That's what it is to be free. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Chag Sameach, everyone. Let's send our hearts to the east. Remember where we are needed in the world, and sing. Kolon balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin lezion Sophia Od lo avda tikvateinu Hatikva bat shnot alpayim Liot am chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Zion וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Am Yisrael Chai. Bring them home now. Shabbat Shalom. Chag Sameach, my friends. See you on Monday.